This will be the last lecture on writing techniques that we learned from the Writer's Toolbox by Laura Harper. And we're going to be looking at the technique called exploding a moment. So exploding a moment is kind of what it sounds like. You use it to draw out the length of intense, critical, or interesting events, and you do that by breaking it down into a series of steps. So here is a little comic that I made using all of the techniques that they talk about in the Writer's Toolbox. Let me go through it one by one. So snapshots, this is the technique we learned about where we zoom into and out from details in a scene. So we begin with a white shot of rolling hills with a tree. Oh, and look, there's a little bit of a red dot on that tree. Let's zoom in. We zoom in and we get a closer look at the tree, and we notice the little red dot is bigger. So we zoom in a little closer and we have a detail of a little red bird sitting on a branch. So with thought shots, this is where we use a technique where we get into the heads of our characters. So, and you use thought shots by using flashbacks, flash forwards, and brain arguments. So here we have the bird thinking to itself, I sang yesterday and the man came with seeds. Then there's a flash forward. If I sing again, maybe he will come again. Brain argument. But what if a cat comes instead? So then the last panel is when we explode the moment and we slow down the action of the story. So the bird decides to take a risk and start singing. And the man shows up. But then there's a surprise because a cat shows up too. And instead of giving the bird the seeds, he gives the cat the seeds. So basically what this exploding a moment does is it breaks down events into smaller little pieces. And kind of like we did with snapshots, it's a good idea to think about this cinematically, as though you're a filmmaker. So start thinking about what you might be doing with the camera. How do you explode a moment if you are thinking cinematically? Well, you pretend like you're writing in slow motion. You stop things where they are and slow things down, and so that you can take your time to go through each step that leads to the final climax. So, a lot of students like to write about the big moment that they hit the home run, or got the final play in a football game, or something like that. They want to show especially sport events. So they say, and I hit the home run, and that's it. Well, that's not very exciting. Use exploding a moment to make it more exciting. So you can lead up to the moment by starting out in the dugout, then zoom in onto your hands and see the palms of your hands are so sweaty. Add some dialogue. No batter, no batter, no batter. Go Elise! People scream in the stands. Then you imagine yourself standing at the plate, staring down your eyes at the person who is the pitcher. And then you maybe swing your arms a little bit to loosen up your back. You get the idea. You slow everything down and break it up into little pieces. And while you're doing that, you use your techniques of snapshots, thought shots, and dialogue to help you do that. So here we go. This is just a little bit of information about what's going on. You want to start off way before the home run. You want to set your context. You want to zoom into details. You want to incorporate your dialogue and build suspense. You can also pull back and get a wide shot. When you describe the big moment, that home run, think about what it felt like when the bat and the ball collided, and talk about that. Use your sensory details. In in a situation when he starts running the bases. Well, what is he thinking as he runs the bases? What does it feel like? Does it hurt when you slide into home? And then zoom into the emotions and feelings at the end. You can see how you can take one sentence, and I hit the home run, but take it and develop it into something much longer and more complex by exploding the moment.